All right, everybody, Samori Benjamin here with a New York boy, Harrison Bader, somebody who really did something that a lot of us dream of doing, that's playing for the New York professional baseball teams. Harrison, man, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to join you.
Now, I know that you came up in Westchester and you played your ball in Little League and all that, like all of us. So, I mean, just coming up, how did you get into baseball growing up?
My uncle got me a baseball glove when I was born, and I guess when I was older, my dad just put it in my hands and started playing baseball at a very young age.
Now, I know you played at Eastchester Little League, I believe. So, how was that for you? Coming up at a long age and your first time playing organized baseball.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great league. The Eastchester Little League did a really good job. The games were always going on. There were, the fields were kept playable. They always had leagues and teams and all-star games and everything that kept us involved. And yeah, it was a really, really well-run league, and I'm still involved with them now, and they do fantastic work for the children, which is all it's about, because the kids are the next generation. So, it really started with the Eastchester Little League.
So growing up, were you did you play the other sports? And were you a fan of the New York teams growing up in New York?
I've always been a hockey fan. I was a big skier growing up, but that's pretty much it. I never really played any other sports.
So were you a fan of the Rangers?
I was, yes.
Okay,
still am.
Still are, okay. So I'm sure that you're watching right now as
yes.
They play in this Final Four. Okay, so yeah, I mean, did you have any favorite players growing up in baseball?
Yeah, so in baseball and hockey?
Well, both.
We'll just stick to baseball. My favorite player growing up was Derek Jeter, and then I moved to the outfield at a very young age, so I became a Bernie Williams fan very quickly, and then once I started, really diving into playing center field, I was a huge Andrew Jones fan. And then Jim Edmonds was another good one I always watched, and Torrey Hunter. So, listen, as a young kid, you try to emulate your game off these guys, so those are the ones I studied a lot.
Yeah, those are great names. Bernie is probably my favorite Yankee of all time. And Andrew Jones, of course, 96. I'm not sure if you remember that World Series, but he broke on the scene against the Yankees and hit 2 big home runs, and Torrey Edmonds, he was the man, definitely.
Yeah.
So, and playing at Horace Mann in high school, what was that like? And I know you had rivalries with Riverdale High School and all that, so how was that in Pilsen probably?
Yeah, you've done your homework on Ivy Preparatory League baseball, the Ivy League Preparatory League.
Yeah, I grew up in the city, so definitely I know about that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was very fun, but it was a challenge at times, like we're warming up in gymnasiums where we'd taken barely any swings before the game, barely have any time to warm up because of the traffic in New York, and if we got a chance to play on Randall's Island, it was raining all the time for whatever reason earlier in the year in April, so the season was always shortened, and the level of competition was always not like good catch.
Thanks.
It was always not like the best, but I think that I and my teammates at the time, we did a really good job of making the absolute best of it and having fun playing ball. So at the end of the day, it was a great experience.
Yeah, that's why I give you a lot of respect, because myself growing up in New York, being a big sports fan, and like I'm aware there's not a lot of New Yorkers who are playing in professional sports, and it's not easy to play sports in New York growing up. Like you said, not a lot of space. The weather is not always good. So definitely respect to you for getting here and doing all that you've done.
Yeah,
now,
for sure.
I know that you played your college ball in Florida. I think you had some opportunities to play maybe at Pittsburgh and Maryland, but how did you end up deciding to play at Florida?
So early in my career, I got in high school, I got some verbal offers and verbal commitments from schools who didn't give me any money, so I wasn't bound by any contract, because they just essentially told me I was going to be a walk-on, which I was okay with because I was going to earn my playing time, but I got the opportunity to play for the University of Florida, and they offered me a scholarship, so I jumped ship very quickly because that's a no-brainer. University of Florida was the #1 program in the country at the time, and I truly was in the right place at the right time, and I'm extremely lucky, and I'm grateful for it. My dad and my family, we talk about it all the time, so I don't know who was looking out for me, but just getting that opportunity really just put me in a direction that I really needed to be for my career. So UF was a fantastic 3 years. I was exposed to the best players in the country in the SEC, and I was on a great stage to be able to propel playing career after college, which was always the plan. So getting an opportunity to be drafted was amazing, and it all kind of started with that initial look from UF. So I cherish that place for a lot of reasons.
Yes, no doubt about it, and it must have been really cool for you to be from New York and being in Florida at that time. Definitely a nice change, and I know you had a chance to play with Pete Alonso at the University of Florida, and also somebody I interviewed last year, AJ Park. How was it? What was it like playing with Pete at Florida at that time, and Park, and how cool is it to be playing with Alonso right now with the Mets?
Yeah, listen, baseball is full circle. So when I was a freshman on campus, Pete was an incoming freshman, and I was tasked with showing him around UF, making sure he was enjoying himself. We had a good, incoming freshman weekend and whatnot, so we took care of him. But listen, once he got on campus, I knew how good he was. I saw him play, and I was a fan of his game, from day one. So, fast forwarding, getting the opportunity to play with him in the major leagues, it's a dream come true. We're just two college kids doing our best to play the game we love, and getting the opportunity to do it at this level now together in the same uniform is fantastic in my opinion. So it's been really special so far. Again, every time you get an opportunity to go out there and play with some teammates is great, but when you have some history with them, like multiple years in college, I think it makes it even more special. So I'm just soaking it all up.
Yeah, and DJ Stewart, I know, played for Florida State, and
it's another one, yeah.
Jameis Winston was on that team too, so that's cool.
And also Danny Young, a reliever for us as well.
Oh, nice.
I played with Danny for 3 years. We were freshmen together.
Awesome. Okay, really cool. So I know you made some All SEC teams and all that, and you hit over 300 when you were there, and College World Series experience, so that must have been really nice. And then
All-American.
Yep, All-American right here. Definitely, man. A New Yorker, All-American, man, respect. Like I said, not a lot of us really out there like that anymore, from what I can see. And around 2015, the Cardinals, you got drafted by the Cardinals, right, 2015?
Yes.
Okay, and so, that had to be special for you. So what do you remember about that time being selected by the, I think, 100th pick, right?
Yes, sir.
So,
done your homework. That's awesome.
So what do you remember about that?
Yeah, I tell the story a lot. I had no idea about pro ball. I think the best piece of advice I ever got was from my coach. His name was Brad Weitzel. He's the assistant coach at the time at UF. And baseball has so many levels, even within the level you're at. If you're a freshman, but then being a junior or a senior or a redshirt freshman, there are so many levels within that. So you'd always say play where your feet are. So I had no idea about pro ball. I knew I wanted to do it, but I didn't know anything about these organizations. So the very first thing I did was went on YouTube and just typed in St. Louis Cardinals, and the very first thing that actually popped up was the opening day ceremonies at Busch Stadium. And in St. Louis, if you're familiar, they do this whole thing where they have cars drive around, they have the Clydesdale horses drive around. It's like a parade almost. And it's just such a warm welcome for the season because baseball is so cherished in that city, and there's such a rich history of it. Whether it be championships, whether it be the players who've come through, whether it be the work they've done away from the field, baseball just runs so rich in that city. So, I could not feel like I was in a better place to be. And obviously, I didn't even take into account that you could be drafted, or not drafted, but traded rather, before you even make it. But I just had my eyes set immediately and being, around those horses and just taking that in. So I was just so excited when I found that out, and yeah, I thought I was in the most perfect place for me.
Yeah, and like you said, a lot of guys do get traded before they make their major league debut. So some of the guys who don't make their debut with the team that drafted them, but you actually did with the Cardinals, and you made it through the minor leagues in about 2 years, which is very impressive because a lot of guys take a lot longer. Minor leagues is the grind. So what? 2017, you make your debut. What do you remember about that moment?
Yeah, listen, it was a dream come true. It really was. You just kind of break down. It's one of those moments where, like, leading up to it, you kind of feel like there's some stuff going on. An injury kind of took place a couple days beforehand.
Dexter Fowler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, something about it just kind of felt like it was my time. And when you get that call, listen, it's a dream come true. Let me just put it like that. So a lot of hard work, but in many ways the work was just beginning. So it's a great moment for me and my family, but we knew it was in front of us. So we definitely enjoyed it. I got my first hit that game and actually scored on a sac fly to win the game. It's a random Tuesday, I believe, but it was such a special moment for me and my family. So It was awesome. I couldn't have drawn it up any better.
Right. Your first home run was against Johnny Cueto, right?
It was on the slider.
Okay, on the slider. Wow, that's a great memory on the slider. Okay, so do you remember how you felt rounding the bases?
Yeah. Listen, once you get all those firsts out of the way in the big leagues, you kind of like set your feet in that first hit, that first home run, that first RBI, whatever it might be. So, again, just a special moment. Super talented pitcher, been around for forever. Just clipped one off him, put a good swing on it. So, listen, it felt great, and I wanted to keep creating that feeling. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure you saw Cueto before you even got to college. He was pitching in the major league, so
he was.
That had to be very cool. And so you got a Gold Glove in St. Louis too. So how did it feel to be recognized for your defensive skills?
Yeah, listen, another dream come true. I've always wanted to win a Gold Glove. I told myself from day one. I know I'm certainly capable of being a really good hitter in this league. But defense, like I've always said, there's so many controllable factors, and I've always prided myself on my defense and my ability to defend. So winning a Gold Glove was a fantastic experience. Being a runner-up, in previous years was not a good feeling. I know I had to keep working, and listen, the work never stops. But for that one moment, enjoying it and kind of finally getting one, my first one was amazing. And defense is everything. Pitching and defense wins championships. So I pride myself on it. And yeah, it's I think it's how I made it to the big leagues and got myself opportunities to work on my bat. And defense is my game. So to be rewarded for it felt amazing.
That's cool. So you played with good Cardinals teams. You all made 3 playoffs, and then the Yankees traded for you. So I'm sure that was very exciting. And 2022 Yankees traded for you. What was that like for you, just initially?
Yeah, initially I was sad to leave St. Louis. I thought I was gonna, end my career as a St. Louis Cardinal. That was my home. I loved the brand of baseball we played. I loved my teammates. I loved the history there. I loved the community I built off the field that made it feel like home. But listen, things come to an end, and I was accepting of the business side. And once I kind of got over that, I was shifted to just being extremely excited to play for the New York Yankees. I mean, as sad as I was to get traded from the Cardinals, there are much worse places to go than the New York Yankees, I'll tell you that. So, again, just another fantastic opportunity with an organization that chose me, wanted me, and I just tried to put my best foot forward and play as well as I could for them, man. I mean, it was just a fantastic experience.
Great. Now, the playoffs, I got to tell the folks, Harrison here was the best Yankee in the playoffs for 2022. And what's interesting is that in the three previous years in the playoffs, you had never homered. And then with the Yankees, you hit 5 home runs with them in the playoffs, 6 RBIs, hit 333. Incredible, man. I mean, so how were you able to really be so clutch and locked in? And what do you remember about, that run for you and the Yankees?
Yeah, it's really simple. It's the bagels. It's the New York City bagels. That's all it is. And the pizza.
No doubt about it.
And the water. There's fluoride in the water. It's that simple.
Cool.
But no, listen. I was healthy. I was hurt all year, so I got healthy. I was feeling fantastic, and I was just locked in on my game and wanting to, produce my team. And I've always said it, when you take the pressure off of your own stats and you focus on just the team aspect, it relieves a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress. So focusing on the team and being in that situation, knowing I was surrounded by legends and so much history, there's no pressure on me whatsoever, no expectations. So the bat felt light, it was free, and I was just happy to go out there just doing my best for my team, man. That's all it is.
Yeah, it was definitely fun to watch. Just 2 more for you. Okay, now just what's it like for you? Well, first, who is the most talented player that you've had the chance to play with? It could be on any level.
There's been some really, really good ones. I'm gonna say, definitely Paul Goldschmidt, definitely Arenado on the defensive side. I mean, the man can hit, but just defensively, I've never seen anything like it. Definitely gonna say Aaron Judge as well, and then some younger talent, man. Brendan Donovan, and I'd say Anthony Volpe. So
okay.
Those are some good ones.
Volpe, a good one. Okay, last one for you. You're here on the other side in Queens now, playing for the Mets, and just what's it like for you playing here with the Mets in Queens, and what's it like for you overall to be able to have played for both New York teams and be able to, just live this baseball life in your city in front of your friends, teachers, and family, all that?
Yeah, it's been a fantastic experience. I think just having the opportunity to play Major League Baseball and have a Major League uniform in and of itself is so special, but to be doing it in front of my family and friends obviously is very special. And I don't know how long it's going to last. I have no idea what the future holds, but I know today and at least for tomorrow, I know where my feet are. So I just give my best effort. I love putting this uniform on. I love Queens. It's a fantastic organization. The medical staff is fantastic. The coaches are awesome. And the players, I mean, we gel so well in the clubhouse. And that's what's going to keep us, going in the right direction moving forward for the remaining 100+ games. So I could not be happy about where I'm at. And I love tossing that uniform on, man. It's amazing. There's nothing like playing in New York.
All right, folks. Like I said, there's not too many of us out here in pro sports, but here's one right here. Harrison Bader, New York Mets outfielder. Harrison, good luck to you, man. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're back.
We're going.